Namo Amida Butsu. So I want to welcome everyone. Broadcasting our Zoom from our Sangha space here in Salt Lake City. And I'm so looking forward to the day when we can come back here and meet in person and be less virtual and more embodied in our sharing. I want to thank you for your willingness to be here, for your willingness to be here when it would be easier than usual to keep sleeping or be distracted or end up doing anything else. I want to start today's talk with a Zen koan. And a koan is a kind of riddle that is supposed to take us out of our everyday conceptual thinking. And the great thing about a koan is that it has many layers and it is consistently revealing itself new insights. As Gyome Kabose Sensei taught, quote, "Truth is forever revealing itself in all forms. Truth is always in a state of becoming." So here is the koan. And it's from the Blue Cliff record, which is a famous record of koans in the Zen tradition. Master Unman said, "About the 15 days before awakening, I do not ask you. Now that 15 days have passed, come, say something." And nobody answered. So Uman, the master himself, said, "Every day is a good day." When I first heard this sentiment from this koan, it was in a meditation group that I was attending some years ago, and it was said a little different. It was, "Every day is a good day, regardless of content." And I think that gives the intent of the koan. And it really struck me for some reason. And I remember it having an impact on me at the time when I first heard it. And for some reason, it made sense to me. There was something kind of logical about it, even though it seemed a little paradoxical. Now, for a while after that, I started saying to people when they asked me, "How was your day?" And I would say, "Every day is a good day," would be my response. It was just kind of part of a practice I was doing. But I think after a short time, it seemed that more than anything, I was just annoying people when I would respond that way. So I eventually stopped saying it. But it was always in the back of my mind. And then one day I was on the Bright Dawn website and I saw that there was a kanji available, calligraphy available from Reverend Gyome Kabose Sensei's calligraphy of that very saying. So the actual saying in Japanese is "Niche Niche Koreku Jitsu," and I saw that and I thought that was perfect. So I bought it for the Sangha years ago when we were in our old sugar house spot, and I presented it to the Sangha. And we talked about the meaning of the kanji. And during our discussion of Niche Niche Koriko Jitsu, one of the first comments that came from the group was that it sounded like some self-help bullshit, which actually made me laugh. And I appreciated the directness. Now, there's something to be said about it. And I like what John Tarrant Roshi says about Uman's response to his students, that every day is a good day. I mean, to say that, you either have to be really foolish or really know you're onto something, as John Tarrant Roshi says. And the way I look at it, to be able to say that, you have to know something intimately. So it's also important to know that Unman was no self-help guru. He lived in a time with great tragedies in ancient China. He knew tragedies personally, And at the time, there were many wars, and armies were constantly on the march, and there was famine because of the wars. There were plagues, there was hunger, there was danger, and it was an everyday occurrence. So when Unman is saying this, when Master Unman is saying it, he's not saying it as a trite saying. When he says to his students that every day is a good day, there's something well beyond the relative measure of a day that he's trying to get at in what he's teaching his students. And it brings me back to what Reverend Guillaume Kabose writes about this koan. He says, quote, every day is a good day as compared, every day is a good day, not a good day as compared to a bad day, but all days are good days. There are no bad days. All days are a good day regardless, end quote. And I want to get back to that in a moment. So here's another more poetic version of the same koan. Master Unman said, about 15 days before the full moon, I do not ask you. Now that 15 days after the full moon have come, say something. And again, as we know, no one answers. Unman himself says, every day is a good day. Here in this version, the moon represents awakening. And I'm not concerned about what came before, he's saying, but now that you're intimate with life, now that you're open to your innate luminosity, he's asking his students, now what? And, you know, I would almost expect some profound and detailed expression of attaining levels of bliss or great insight to the operations of the universe. Glorious insights about past lives, or even more traditional in Taoist terms of some special powers. But instead, all of the students were mum. And since no one answered, again, Master answers for them. And this is the intimacy that comes after this awakening experience. It's the realization that every day is a good day. So I guess my question is, what is this koan pointing to? And just by reading the first lines, we can see that Unman is not concerned about what's come before right now. And for now, we'll simply take it as that. Unman does not care about what came before. He doesn't care about what's brought us here. And I think the funny thing is, for most of us, that's very different from where we're at. We have a tendency to be very concerned about what came before, because that's all about our story. We're all about our stories of who we are and who we aren't, of what we've done or what we've not done. Our stories are built on what came before. And with that, so do our justifications, our rationalizations, and many of our misperceptions. For Unman, what has come before is not what is important, because regardless of what came before, all of it brought you here, now, to this moment, to this point in time. In the koan, he's asking his students, what is now important? We've achieved this awakening, and he's asking to them, now what? What have you achieved? And I think there's a question that comes in that, and but is awakening about achieving something? There's a saying that what do the Buddhas want from us is less. Buddhism is not about adding things to our lives, but about stripping ourselves down to a raw and aware nakedness. I love the fact that ultimately what comes after awakening is the continuation of what, it's not this separation. It's seeing what came before, free of the distraction of our stories. It reminds me of a line from one of Dogen's teachings where he says, quote, "In the beginning, mountains are mountains and rivers are rivers. Later on, mountains are not mountains and rivers are not rivers. And still later, mountains are mountains and rivers are rivers." End quote. I think when we're here, every day is a good day. And I think there's a paradox within that saying, but I think it's because of the use of the word good. Good implies comparison, because how can you have good without bad? And I think that's how our friend was initially taking the saying when we were sharing it initially in our Sangha. And I totally understand where she's coming from, because I've had plenty of bad days. The sudden death of a family member can be a really traumatic and bad day. A day of a terminal diagnosis, emotionally traumatic events. What we're going through right now with our stay-at-home order. And an undisciplined imagination can make any day a bad day. We can be obsessing about our fears, our anxieties, the wrongs that have been done to us, and the slew of other unfortunate things can make this saying, "every day is a good day," trite. But we want to remember that Uman is not so concerned with what came before, but what is going on right now, right here. I really appreciate this from Naujin Roshi. Quote, "What exactly does a good day mean? Compared to what? And then realize that I cannot compare this day to any other day. All I can do is fantasize about what I think a good day is. Ego, mind, is never going to allow me to totally appreciate this day because it picks and chooses." End quote. Generally, I think directly the saying is the speaking, and directly the trap of comparing one day to another is where we get ourselves in trouble. We have learned that comparing anything is a thief of happiness. We have also learned that each day is a new day and not in relation to the previous day. In reality, there is nothing to compare this present moment to. It is absolutely and utterly unique. As Guillaume Cabose has written on this koan, quote, "The good day does not refer to a nice day as compared to a bad day. It means the absolute, not the relative day. Today is the absolute day, the only day in the eternity of time. Today is never repeated. It is good in the original absolute sense. Rain or shine, sickness or health, the past is only reference, the future only hope. Today is real." End quote. So let's look at the koan one more time in yet another translation. And this one is kind of framed in an everyday Buddhism kind of language. Quote, "How would you respond if you were asked, 'I don't ask you about your past. What is your fact at this very moment?'" No answer came from Unman's students, so Unman answered his own question. Every day is a good day. End quote. Here is another way to look at this saying, every day is a good day. As Tim Burnett writes, every day is a good day to offer thanks. At the heart of every day is a good day is gratitude. Gratitude for life and grace and having the teachings of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. For me, every day is a good day because every day is a day for practice. And the Buddha way is not a destination as much as it is the way itself, the way of practice. It is purposeless purposefulness. It is effortless effort. Tim Burnett goes on to write about gratitude. At the heart of every day is a good day. Quote, gratitude comes from the feeling of openness, shyness, vulnerability. The person who is grateful can be hurt or rejected. She is taking a risk. With gratitude, there is more at stake. Life is not small. Gratitude can surprise me just the way a poem or a song can surprise me and fling me into another, wider air. When the ancient Chinese thought of waking up as intimacy, they were referring to an appreciation for trees and rivers, an appreciation so strong that it amounted to identification. What's outside of us is us too. They also meant that our own innermost experience leads us outward to connect. Gratitude is what we feel for every single thing that occurs, since we would rather be alive than not, would rather be here than not. And perhaps our only job is to celebrate being here, being happy for each other. End quote. Every day is a good day. It can sound strange, especially now in such trying times. And I think it says more about our relationship with these so-called bad events. If our relationship with the difficulties of life is resistance, denial, anger, a sense of injustice, we will see these events in the light of that relationship. These will be bad days. It is not that the day is bad per se, but it is our relationship with it. If, on the other hand, our relationship with the difficulties is openness, awareness, acceptance, then our relationship will be one of freedom, transcendence, and calm. Maybe this saying is really a pointing at the true self, the self in naturalness, the idea of a radical okayness. In this state, every day is a good day, because the good day is living in awareness of what comes. I love what Guillaume Kabose Sensei says, that from the understanding that every day is a good day is Buddhism. For me, the saying is paradoxical, and at the same time it is not. I have confidence. I have faith in the teaching and aspire to cultivate an openness that is indeed Nietzsche, Koreku Jitsu. And I want to share something, a few lines from Jeff Brooks, which goes along the same line. And he says, quote, to understand that every day is a good day takes courage, because on some days we will suffer. That when that is necessary, when that is the reality of our lives, it is our day to suffer. That reality shifts as we have experienced from day to day, even from moment to moment. Some days we will be happy, then it will be a good day to be happy. Some days we will have to struggle, and it will be a good day to struggle. Some days we will have to fight, and it will be a good day to fight. Some days it will be our day to die. And then, as Black Elk, the Indian elder, said, it will be a good day to die. End quote. So I especially love this from John Trent Roshi again. Um, and it's about a freedom and an openness that comes to us when we're able to see each and every day as a good day. John Trent Roshi writes, quote, "There is only the dance, the liveliness and unpredictability of each moment, the moves and counter moves, the call and response. Whatever you do not call it fixity. Better just to dance. To be in the everyday is to be in the aliveness, the livingness of life. To not only partake in the dance, but to become the dance. To move with the moves of the unnameable, ungraspable. To move with what is the way of the Tao and the here and the now." So the reason I chose this as a topic today is I think it's incredibly appropriate to what we're experiencing now. And it also goes hand in hand with how we see Namo Amida Butsu as being an invitation to all of our lives. Every day is a good day because of Namo Amida Butsu. Every day is a good day, an absolute day, the only day in the time of eternity. It's our opportunity to be present with it, and a great way to contemplate our relationship to each and every moment. My aspiration for all of us this coming week is that we may strive, all of us, in our practice and in our efforts, in our effortless effort to achieve Niche Koriko Jitsu, the realization that every day is a good day. Namo Amida Butsu. I'd like to give some time for you to respond in your chat function. Go ahead. If you have any questions, any comments you want to share with the group, we'll go ahead and give a few minutes for you to do that. Good question. What do we mean by effortless effort? Well, that will be next Sunday's Dharma talk. So we'll address it at that point. It was a little teaser. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. I think one of the challenges we have with this kind of phrase is that as Westerners, we're really stuck into that dualistic framework, that dualistic mind of good and bad. And it's really hard sometimes to separate it out. Good as in better than something else. That comparison, and that comparison is that thing that keeps us from experiencing the moment as it is. I like that one thing about today being a good day to suffer, today being a good day to work hard, today being a good day to fight, to do nothing. That the day itself, regardless of content, is a good day because we are alive and present in it. We are here. When we start comparing days, it's almost an attempt to escape what is happening. It is that thing we do where we do not accept what is happening as it is happening. We do not allow ourselves that Namo Amida Butsu and that invitation that we give our lives, to be present with our lives as they are. And then by doing so, being able to attend to it, being able to engage with it, to be intimate with it, to learn from it, to grow from it, and to be a part of it. Excellent, everybody. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for engaging with the material. One of the beautiful things too with the koan is what we shared here today. It's just one simple reading of the koan. The thing that's important about the koan is it will constantly reveal itself. One of the beautiful things, beautiful teachings from my mentor, Reverend Gyome Kabose Sensei, is the idea that the truth is constantly revealing itself. That truth is not this static thing we arrive at, but it's in the becoming itself. It is this ever unfolding. And koans are beautiful that way because they can completely unfold for us in completely different ways than our initial engagement with it. And each of you, as you engage with every day is a good day, will mean something different to you at different moments and different times in your life, in a day itself. And the thing that's just resonated with me for so long is every day is a good day because I can practice. I can be alive. I can be engaged with life. I can be intimate with life. And I think it's important to keep that in our minds because it's easy for us to simply ignore a day or to justify doing nothing that is important to us because on some definition we've given the day. The day itself is right. The day itself is absolutely and utterly unique. It is a miracle. And being able to embrace that every day is a good day because every day is a miracle. And to really embrace that in our practice helps bring forward that gratitude, that transformative gratitude, that realization of grace that attends us all the time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your comments. Let's go ahead and let's bring our session to an end. And go to our practice manual. And it's the very last fellowship closing. May the merit of this ceremony adorn the Buddha's Pure Lands, bring forth the fourfold kindnesses, and relieve the suffering of life's paths. As we leave and conclude this gathering, we surround all people and all forms of life with infinite love and compassion. May the sound of this bell ring throughout the universe, awakening all beings to joy and equanimity.